The greatest crime in intellectual history was not a single act of arson. It was a cover-up spanning 700 years. We've all been told the story, the great Library of Alexandria, holding all the knowledge of the ancient world, tragically lost in a single catastrophic fire. It's a simple story, a neat one, but it's a lie. The truth is far darker. The library wasn't just burned, it was murdered. And tonight, we're reopening the case. To understand the crime, you need to understand the victim. In the 3rd century BC, an heir to Alexander the Great's legacy, Ptolemy I, launched the most ambitious intellectual project in history. His goal: information dominance. He founded the Mauseon, the Temple of the Muses, a state-funded think tank designed to attract the world's greatest minds. At its core was the library. Its mission was aggressive: to possess a copy of every single manuscript on Earth. Agents were dispatched with endless funds to buy scrolls. A state law declared any book entering Alexandria's port would be seized, copied by an army of scribes, and the original absorbed into the collection. At its peak, it was a hoard of nearly 500,000 scrolls, a staggering concentration of global knowledge. This wasn't a quiet place for reading. This was an engine of discovery. Here, Eratosthenes proved the Earth was round and calculated its size with terrifying precision. Here, Euclid defined the laws of geometry that would stand for millennia. Here, physicians mapped the nervous system, identifying the brain as the true seat of consciousness. This wasn't just a library, it was the intellectual heart of the planet, and it was about to become a perfect crime. Every good mystery has its suspects, and this case has a lineup of A-listers. Suspect number 1, the usual culprit, Julius Caesar. The year is 48 BC. He's trapped in a war zone. He torches the enemy's fleet. The fire, the story goes, gets out of control and hits the library. A convenient accident. But forensic analysis shows this accident only hit warehouses at the port, not the main library. It's a plausible alibi, but it doesn't account for the full crime. 2 centuries later, a new person of interest emerges: Emperor Aurelian. His motive: war. His army smashed the very district where the library stood, a brutal act of collateral damage during a siege. He had the means and the opportunity to inflict a mortal wound. Then comes our 3rd suspect, the Theophilus. In 391 AD, he unleashed a wave of religious fury against paganism. His mob targeted the Serapeum, the library's sister institution. They didn't just burn books, they tore the place apart, brick by brick. It was a crime of passion, of fanaticism. Caesar, Aurelian, Theophilus. Any one of them could be the killer. But the evidence suggests they were all just accomplices. The real cause of death was something else entirely, something slower and far more insidious. The Library of Alexandria didn't die from a sudden trauma. It suffered from a terminal illness. For centuries, it was slowly being poisoned. The first symptom: financial starvation. As Rome's grip on Egypt tightened, the endless funding that was the library's lifeblood was choked off. The army of scribes needed to repair decaying scrolls was cut. The acquisition of new knowledge stopped. The second symptom was apathy. The institution became old, neglected.
Its knowledge was seen as a relic, not a resource. The scrolls, made of fragile papyrus, were left to the mercy of humidity and insects. Knowledge literally rotted away. The final fatal symptom was a change in ideology. A new dogmatic worldview was taking hold, one that was hostile to the library's spirit of free inquiry. Scientific and philosophical works were relabeled as pagan and heretical. They didn't always need to be burned. They just needed to be forgotten, not copied, left to crumble. No single person signed the death warrant. It was death by 1,000 indifferent decisions. The fires and riots were just the final flashy moments of a long, slow, and deliberate execution, carried out by neglect and intolerance. The perfect, untraceable crime. So what was the damage? What are the ghosts that haunt us from this crime scene? We are haunted by the 90 lost plays of Aeschylus, the Greek Shakespeare. We are haunted by the full histories of Babylon and Mesopotamia, told in their own voices, now forever silent. We are haunted by the ghost of Aristarchus, who mapped a sun-centered solar system 18 centuries before Copernicus. His evidence is gone. Did we have to discover gravity twice? Did we have to invent calculus twice? We'll never know. We lost the blueprints to the ancient world's wonders, the engineering behind the pyramids, the mechanics of the Colossus of Rhodes. Gone. We lost medical texts that could have saved millions of lives over the ensuing centuries. We lost maps to lands that had to be rediscovered all over again. The destruction of the library didn't just rob the past, it put a lien on the future. It slammed the brakes on human progress, forcing us to spend more than 1,000 years trying to rediscover the things we already knew. It was the intellectual equivalent of bombing a civilization back to the Stone Age. We've been climbing out of that hole ever since. The case of the Library of Alexandria is not a cold one, because the crime is still happening. Today, our libraries are digital, our scrolls are servers, and they are just as vulnerable to budget cuts, to neglect, and to the ideological fires of those who want to erase the ideas they fear. The story of Alexandria is not ancient history. It's a warning. It's a reminder that knowledge is never permanent. It must be defended vigorously, or it will be lost, and we will be left in the dark once again. So, who do you think was the real killer of the Library of Alexandria? The arsonist, the conqueror, the fanatic, or the thousands who simply looked away? Drop your verdict in the comments. If you believe history is full of cold cases that need solving, subscribe and ring the notification bell. We have more files to open. Until then, stay curious and never stop digging for the truth.